It's time for the dreaded cutoff race at the Charlotte ROVAL. The championship run will end for 4 drivers this weekend. Can any of the drivers currently below that cut line fight their way into the round of 8? Hi everyone, Kim Coon joined by DJ and Nate Ryan, and we are headed to the Charlotte ROVAL. A lot of guys, though, are nervous about this race because it is a cutoff race. As we look at the drivers below the elimination line, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace, Ross Chastain, and Kyle Busch, who of those has the best shot of hopscotching the line and actually advancing into the round of 8? DJ, we'll start with you.
I go right to Tyler Reddick. His races on the road courses have been phenomenal. I believe that this could be him winning and advancing himself there. If he doesn't do that, then I think he has just such a solid day. And I realize that strategies, and I'm not Steve Letarte and can tell you all of the strategies that may play out, but I really think that this driver and this team will be fast enough to dictate how they want to run the race, and whether that's garnering enough points to move their way through, or do they just win and get themselves in. But to this point, your last name has had to start with a B to get through, with Ryan Blaney winning last week and joining William Byron. Does that mean Chris Buescher wins this weekend?
He'd be a good pick, DJ. I mean, he's been really strong on road courses this season, shown an uptick there. But I agree with you. I think not only I think Tyler Reddick is the most likely of those under the cut line, I think he's the only driver really under the cut line who has a shot of advancing. I think Kyle Busch is pretty much almost in a winner-in situation, and his team seems to have no momentum. Ross Chastain, Trackhouse Racing, has not been the same on road courses this year as they were last year, and I feel like he lost a little of his mojo in that Talladega crash. And then Bubba Wallace has improved on road courses, but I still feel like he's a 10th to 15th place driver at his best at the ROVAL, and I don't think that's going to get him through. So I think Reddick's the only one that I really have under the cut line who will advance, who could advance, and I agree with DJ. I think he will advance. I think he probably knocks out Brad Keselowski.
Okay, all right, so let's go from that point. You think it's Reddick and Nate, Brad Keselowski out. So DJ, if Reddick's in, somebody's got to be out. As you look at the drivers that are above that cut line, whose spot is he going to take?
Yeah, I have to go with Nate there. That I think that Brad, as good as this team has been, and so much improved, Brad, I believe, has struggled a little bit on the road courses, and I think that it's going to be tough for them. And figuring out which strategy they want to go with is going to be important. And if they're watching Tyler Reddick lead this race and be up front, I think that may make them switch over and try to do something different. But if I'm going to put someone else that I'm watching as to how can they get through this and possibly keep themselves in and get through to the round of 8, it's Martin Truex Jr. They continue to lose points every single race in the playoffs except one. And so it's been a real struggle, a disaster, if you will, to the playoffs, but they're still there. They still have a nice cushion, but you're going to have to make sure that you do everything right on Sunday. So those are the two that I'm watching and think that they might be the ones that are out as Reddick moves in.
Well, no non-playoff drivers have won a playoff race this season so far, but there are a handful of drivers that can get it done on road courses. You look at Michael McDowell, AJ Allmendinger, Chase Elliott. So if you have to pick a non-playoff driver that can get to victory lane this weekend at the ROVAL, who are your bets on?
I think, I would look at Chase Elliott, but I don't know if that really counts as a non-playoff driver since technically his car is still running for the championship. But I always like Chase Elliott's, chances at the ROVAL, certainly. Always looking at a guy like AJ Allmendinger, and especially this year or this race, now that NASCAR has switched back to having stage cautions, having breaks at the end of stages, I think that's really going to impact how teams look at this race, approach this race, strategize it, how it unfolds. We have Brad Keselowski saying this week that there's going to be a big debate ongoing all the way up until Sunday at 2 p.m. about, do you go for points in the stages or do you go for the win? And I think knowing where these predetermined cautions are going to be are probably going to set it up well for a guy like Allmendinger, who runs so well at road courses, is if his team elects to go for a win, he might be better positioned than a playoff car or one of those cars that's worried a little bit more on points.
Yeah, good points. And I'm just going to say up front, I don't think Chase Elliott wins this race. I know he's been outstanding at this track, but there's just nothing telling me still that this driver and team are ready to win in 2023 at this point. But I will say, Michael McDowell, you cannot overlook the fact of his dominance at Indy and what they were able to do. And over the last 2 years with this car at the road courses. So look for him to be there. AJ's record in the Xfinity Series at this track is phenomenal. You think that has to carry over some. So I would not be surprised to see him right in the mix and possibly taking a win away from one of the drivers that are still in the playoffs.
Well, it will no doubt be an action-packed weekend from the Charlotte ROVAL. Tune in for all the action and to see which 4 drivers get eliminated from the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. It's the Charlotte ROVAL Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern on NBC. Thanks for watching NASCAR America Motormouths, presented by Toyota.
Hi, I'm Parker Kligerman. For more access like this from Pit Road, be sure to click and subscribe to the Motorsports on NBC YouTube channel.